go ahead and secure the
Yeah.
weights, ladies and gentlemen, because this is the questionnaire. Yeah, I am the unknown factor, aka that Wade Wilson of hip hop, but we ain't on hip hop, man. That's not what this quest is about. This quest is about comics in so many different forms, on so many different levels. From, bringing on Jim Valentino, one of the co-founders of Image, to having on Mike Q and Tony and fucking Vlad and Sean. Damn, I forgot to draw up some crazy ass aliens. Jesus Christ. You ever get to the point where you're just doing too much, you lose track of all what you're doing up? That's the point, and that's what happens. But today, on this particular quest, ladies and gentlemen, we got Sebastián Píriz. How you doing, man?
Hey, thank you. How are you? Thanks for inviting me.
Man, it's a pleasure.
And the Sebastián was perfect.
Look at that. I got it out right. That's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm pretty good at getting it in right. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
pulling out has always
was
been a
pretty
problem
quick
of mine.
Yeah.
That's why my boy just turned 4. What can I say? Let's just start the show off real fucking graphic. But hey, it's not a Serbian film graphic as we were talking about before the show. I don't get that graphic. That's
No, please no. That no.
I not in real life, not on the show. No.
No.
No. Just no. Dispatch man, I gotta pick on you right off the bat. Why ain't you
Yes.
got 3 wishes?
3 wishes. If I had 3 wishes right now.
Well, you didn't answer the question.
Oh, I missed that. I didn't remember reading that. I might have missed that. Okay, if I had 3 wishes, I am, when those stories where they say living forever will be bad, you get bored. No, I want to live forever. I mean, at least for a long, long time. I would love that. That I would like to have a lot of money. I mean, yeah. The third wish, I think I'd say the third wish for an emergency. As long as I don't have, I don't know, like an slave genie. I mean, I wouldn't want the genie to suffer. I'm thinking in a nice genie, like in the Disney movie, But if that's not the case, I would say the third wish for a future emergency.
Well, I mean, I did say a magic lamp, so you are technically trapping a genie within that lamp. But technically, if you don't use that third wish to free the genie, all that genie is still stuck in that lamp, unless you continue to pass it on and on and on.
Well, okay, if that's the situation and it's a good genie, I would set him free. If it's a bad genie, I will just keep it in the lamp. I don't know. I depending on the situation,
If it's a bad genie, I don't think I'd make any fucking wishes.
Yeah, you have a good point. You make a good point there. I mean, if I realize right away that it's a bad genie, the first wish will be to make it honest with me. I mean, if I ask for this, what's the consequence? But I have to realize that it's a bad genie. I don't know if I would right away. I'm pretty trustworthy. Trusty. Yeah, I trust in people,
but
without many questions.
But Sebastian, that's the greatest first wish to any genie. It's like, look, I need you before I make a wish to tell me the consequences.
I think that should be a standard. Even if the genie is, I mean, it shows up Disney genie, I think that should be the standard first wish, because you don't know if it's making a show just to make you trust. Yeah, I will. And then, if you live 1,000 years, you eventually have a lot of money. So I can still have my last wish for an emergency. I mean, if you live 1,000 years and you don't have a lot of money, you might as well walk right to the sea.
If you live 1,000, I mean, all it would take is grabbing a few items. You know what I mean?
Yeah, just. And eventually you have to have enough money.
That's why I love the story of the Highlander. But he was smart about it. He's like, I just run this museum where I got a bunch of old stuff and I sell it. But you could tell he was really well off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so that I think that's my three wishes. I mean, first one, you have to tell me if you are a good Shinny, or what are the consequences. Second one, I want to live like till I get tired of living. And the third one, I keep it for an emergency.
That's funny. On your questionnaire, it's going to say, watch the show under that question. They're going to be like, what? He just
Yeah,
didn't.
there had to be some like the first wish said no consequence, no bad consequences. I mean, that's not a bad consequence, but that wouldn't be a particularly good consequence for me, you know. I'm talking about, you know.
Oh, yeah.
I have to get out of this.
Yeah. They're so, dude, no. They're so, yeah. That's look, I've had people with that question be like, none. I'm throwing the lamp in the ocean. I want nothing to do with it. I've seen too many trickeries with that, right? But we're gonna get off wishes now, man. And we're gonna get into something, man, like different, very much so, but it's something I assume must have been a wish at your point in your life, Sebastian, which is to make it to where you were doing comics for a living, right?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Firstly, what made that a desire of yours, right? And secondly, what was
Yeah.
it like when you finally got it to the point where you're like, oh, damn, I'm really getting paid for this?
Okay. First, there weren't comics in my house when I was a kid. You know, I mean, I knew what comics were, but I used to watch cartoons. I mean, I like the Ninja Turtles. I like He-Man. But then one day I started seeing. I was. I don't know. I was 11, 12, and I bought a couple of comics in a newsstand. And then I started. Then this country is very unstable. You have years where you can buy a lot of comics, and then there's an economic crisis, and you can't buy anything. You know. So in one good age, I saw one issue of Uncanny X-Men by Joe Madureira. You know, it's a double-sized issue. The first page they're playing baseball, like the X-Men do.
Yeah. I think I
It's
know
the
what you're talking about.
introduction of the new Morlocks. I don't know the name, but Morrow and a bunch of other guys that didn't make it too far. You know, the one with the bones. Okay, and that different style blew my head, and I remember in that moment, with that issue in my hand, saying, "I want to do this," because I didn't know about comics. I didn't know. I thought in my head, comics were this thing that all of them looked the same. You know, the same more or less style, the same house style of DC Comics and Marvel, and then seeing something so different, so fresh, made me I'm directly to that way. Because when I was a kid, I always read. I always drew. You know, since I was, my mom used to say that she sat me in the baby chair and I would be drawing for hours. But I didn't know about comics, and that issue made me, yeah, this is something you can do, and this is something cool you can do, because it's not always the same. You can do your thing. That was, I don't have it now. It was a Spanish version of the issue, not the original, but I should buy it.
Yeah, I would assume you could
The
find
second
that.
part,
Yeah, I would assume you could
yeah,
find that somewhere.
yeah,
Yeah.
I don't think I will be able to find the original one, because I don't think if you can find many of those.
Well,
Yeah,
you might be able to find it. It
I
just
was in
might.
the US. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and yeah,
Yeah.
and I just find it, you know. But there was this cool reimpression of X-Men one, of the Shin Lee X-Men one. I bought it, I was in the US for the first time a few weeks ago, and I went to a store for the very first time, a US store. I used to go to stores here in Argentina when I was a kid. Now I live in the middle of nowhere and I don't have stores close. And found this reimpression of X-Men 1, very cool with the folding cover.
Yeah.
Well, maybe there's something like that for eventually one day for the Madureira issues. One can wish. And the second part is when I realized I was making a living of this. Well, I was working in a factory, in a fabric factory. I used my boss' computer to search digital webbing and that kind of places for indie work, but very, very indie work. Not indie like today. Today, it's a very good age for indie comics. When I started, it was, they didn't pay, but then there was like, well, all the well, I started working back then, didn't make a living because it was people hiring you to do, I don't know, personal projects, and everybody was sold me that they were making the best, the very next, the next very good thing, I'm gonna blow everybody's mind, and then they didn't pay. It was a mess. But with those first works, I already had, publisher work to show to other publishers. I started a few years later. I started making a webcomic called the Demon Archives. I did like a lot of pages there. They always paid in time. It was more or less regular. So I kind of started making a living with difficulties. I know it wasn't easy. It wasn't easy even to get the money because of my country, because they wouldn't let you receive money from outside. Argentina is a very complicated country. In the economy of Argentina is a constant mess. I love it here. It's I think it's not a bad place to live, but the economy is a mess. So, well, okay, I started making money there. I started making, at least enough to pay the bills, to live. And it was gradual, because it was always with problems. And these last 3 years, starting with the pandemic, I started getting regular shopping, very good publishers involved in Marcave, in IDW. It wasn't one point. I mean, 10 years ago, I had a meeting with back then the talent manager for Marvel. Today is the editor in chief. He came to Argentina. I sent him a few samples through the email. I said, hey, is it the kind of stuff you want to see? He loved it. Well, it took a few months till I finally get the email saying, hey, you want to do a few pages for Marvel? Yeah, of course. So I did a few pages, 8 pages of Nick Fury for a Christmas special. And then I thought, okay, I made it. And nothing else happened for Marvel. The editor left. Years later, he started working in another very cool publisher. And well, I don't remember the name now. That publisher that releases like all the comics all together, all the floppies together. TKO.
TKO? Okay, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's the editor that hired me for Marvel, and he left right away. And when that happened, I was like, no, I didn't make it. It's well, but after those moments and all those disappointments, you have a lot of disappointments. You have to go through a lot of disappointments, and you have to find a way to keep moving forward, to keep doing this. and people that doesn't pay, people that pay late, that pays late, people that say, yeah, I want to do this with you, and then it just doesn't happen. It's gradual. It's not one moment. At least it wasn't for me, because when I thought it was a moment, it didn't work out in the end.
But I think in what you just said, you're right. It's very rare, in the comic book industry for somebody to have, let's say, a Walking Dead moment. You know what I mean? Where it's like,
Yeah.
oh hell, I really, really, really made it. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think those are common things. I think that's one thing that comics share very much in common with hip hop is it's a grind to get to a point where
Yeah.
you are truly, truly on the level where people are noticing you for everything that you're doing. You know what I mean? And I think without the continuous grind, you can even fall off fairly quickly. You know what I mean?
And even now, I've been, I mean, the last 3 years, I didn't have many months without a published comic, without an issue. And when I had those months, I was already working on what's next. Even now, I'm feeling like, yeah, I have work for, I have like a few months more of work, and I have some things maybe could happen, and I feel, what if nothing happens? I don't think I will ever grow out of that feeling, that fear.
Well, man, I mean, you say that, but I think and I'm not saying you will or you won't, but I mean, you may reach a point where that's not as much of a feeling. I don't know that it will ever truly disappear. Excuse me. Um, but
Yeah.
I mean, I think that has a lot to do with the comic book industry and the fact that, I mean, let's be honest, it fluctuates a great deal. You know what I mean? I mean, you look at
Yeah.
what just happened with IDW fairly recently. They laid off, well, I believe it was 40% of their employees. Uh,
Yes.
just
Yeah.
which is terrible. And again, and we've said this on the past episodes. I wish everybody well that was affected by that. It sucks that it happened. I'm pretty confident that happened based on the fact that IDW recently lost Transformers, as well as GI Joe, which shows that
Yeah.
properties
And Star
carry.
Wars.
Yeah, I mean, properties carry a lot as far as
Yeah.
for publishers, man. I don't know how Dark Horse hasn't been more affected by Disney buying Fox, in all honesty, except for the fact they have a fan base that is, highly a fan of the other books that
I
they
think
make.
I think I'm not an analyst of the industry, but I think Dark Horse survival and worked, and mostly because they have a lot of books on the shelves all the time. It's like the European industry, They it's not the books they are making now that I think I may be totally wrong, but if you go to a comic store, you can always buy Hellboy, you can always buy Sin City, you can always buy the stuff that is ageless. There's always people buying that stuff. So that constant revenue must be at least part of why they could they survived when they lost Star Wars first, and then they lost all the other stuff.
Yeah, and I don't know if they lost the what they'd done in the past with Star Wars as far as things they'd released, but I know for a fact that everything they've done with Alien and Predator, as far as the now Marvel's putting all that out, like everything that had been done with those characters.
They can,
Yeah,
yeah.
they're not omnibuses by Marvel, which is kind of crazy to me. I really wish I had all of the Dark Horse graphic novels I used to that were Alien and Predator related, because part of me feels like, oh my god, I bet they end up worth a lot of money, because I had like the original Alien versus Predator. I don't know how many graphic
and
novels
and
this
it
and that.
was they were all great quality. They
Oh,
were all, there wasn't one bad story in there. Yeah.
mm, yeah, and then they
Yeah,
take
well,
and
but
make
they,
a
they, they
movie.
still have they still have all this original stuff that they created. Then they made movies. They made. I think that must help a lot. It's a different case than the other publishers, Dark Horse, because it's been around for a long time already. So
Very true. Very true. I mean, and they still have the mask that is totally their property. But I'll tell you on the note of Dark
Men in
Horse,
Black. No, Men in Black was Marvel.
huh?
No, Men in Black was Marvel. Men in Black, the original Men in Black was a comic.
Yeah,
I
the
think it
original
was
Men in
Marvel.
Black was from Marvel
Yeah.
Comics. But can I say, as far as the Alien versus Predator run, God, I can't tell you how much it annoyed me that movie didn't follow the comic at all. That they made up their own terrible fucking.
Well, it's the same happened with Star Wars, but then Filoni started taking everything from the expanded universe again, in different order, in different places, but they are taking a lot from what Dark Horse did and the novels.
I can't tell you when I went and seen that first Alien versus Predator film, man. How much?
You were waiting for
Uh, I was
that
waiting
kind
for
of
an alien.
disappointment
I was
sucks.
waiting for some planet the humans were on to get just eggs dropped on it by predators and shit, and all that to happen, and then I get this terrible
And the first
piss
movie,
poor.
is the one in that pyramid, right? The Alien versus Predator is they're in a pyramid in
Yeah,
is that right?
yeah.
Something like that. Right? Yeah. Yeah. Well, I have this. I mean, I arrived to this point where I think that with all this multiverse that it's now, I know like a lot the concept of the multiverse, because I think it lessens the the stories, because if everything is happening anywhere else, why this story is particularly important? You know what I mean? That's what I always felt about the multiverse. But that's a parenthesis. When you have different versions of a thing, I mean, it happened with, I don't know, Game of Thrones. You have the books and you have the series. I arrived to the conclusion that they are just different, like different universes, and both things happen, and you have more, and you don't have to like them all, but you have more things to enjoy. That's maybe it's like a survival thing, because
We got to get deep
there will
now.
be things that suck.
No, no, Sebastian, we got to get deep. So you telling me you're not you don't believe in the actual multiversal theory?
Oh, like in real life physics.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know.
Can I say,
I
yo,
think
hold
I
on,
think
Sebastian, I
I
love
think
that.
it's
Yeah.
I mean I would say I understand what it says, and at a very mundane level. I don't understand the math, the physics. I understand what they are saying, yeah, but uh, I don't like the idea of a deterministic universe where everything that will happen already happens. Because if we're in a multiverse, it means that the options are other universes.
Maybe that explains the Mandela effect.
Yeah, but I think the Mandela effect. I think the Mandela effect is just a psychological thing enhanced by social media. Yeah, I think. I mean, we all hear things wrong. We all make our own mind about what, and then social media. You always will find people that make the same mistake that you make, and there's so many people out there in social media put us all together. And yeah, if you always thought it was Berenstain, I don't know that. I mean, that's the example, but I don't remember that cartoon from down here. If you always thought it was with that A, you will find in social media a lot of people that made the same mistake.
But you don't think
because
Sinbad
of the
was
nature of
in
social
that?
media.
Wait, you don't think Sinbad was in that movie as a
I didn't.
genie?
No, I didn't. There are examples of Mandela effect down here, but that movie, yeah, I remember that movie. Like those movies they put on TV that they weren't big movies. They put it to fill the I don't know because they had to put something. But I don't remember the movie. I don't remember the verse. Maybe it's a cartoon I saw once or twice. But I think it's a social media thing. Yeah, like I mean, you like I mean, you like the Alien versus Predator comic, okay? And when you were reading them, you you didn't find other people that read them so easily. But today, you write about them, and you will find people that reads them right away.
Very
Well, I
true.
think it's the same, but with like mind glitches, we all make mistakes all the time. We're all the time making mistakes, and social media just lets us find other people that make the same mistakes. And before that, you didn't. I mean, when we were kids, you're with the kids. You're with your group of kids, and if one of you pronounced it wrong, all of you will pronounce it wrong, or maybe one will correct you, and you will laugh about it, and that's all. But today, you say, yeah, when I was a kid, it was this way, and other people will say, yeah, it was this way because they made the same mistakes. I mean, we are how many? We're like 7 billion people in the world.
So you think it's
That's
ostensibly
my that's my,
the
my that, that's my theory. I think if there is a multiverse, we have no chance of interacting with it. It's like religion. You have to you have to believe in it without proof. That's what I think about the multiverse.
why do you think there is absolutely no chance that we could interact with the multiverse if we have already
I,
tried
I
to
will I will
reproduce
I
the Big
wouldn't say
Bang?
absolutely no chance. I wouldn't say absolutely no chance,
Okay.
but I think the the way it works, you know, the way it works means that it's out of our human reach.
Intriguing is all I'll say to that,
It's not.
man. I
It's
mean,
not. I would say it's not a place you can go to. You can open a green portal and go to another universe. You it if it exists, if there are other universes, they are not a place. They are like the future.
if someone
We
gave
are.
you a magic lamp,
You
I'd
can't.
prove your ass wrong.
Okay. I mean, that's a good thing about science. I
No
mean, I'm
one
not
give
a
me a
scientist.
magic lamp.
That's the great thing about science, that you can be proved wrong, and you have to. I mean, this is what I believe, but I would love to have somebody that comes and tell me, no, you were wrong because of this, and this.
Man, can I say in that though? I think it's funny that your favorite character growing up was Beast, because Beast clearly in the comics is somebody that is very intellectually intelligent. And I mean, he even at points does things with the multiverse to the point where he brings back the original
Yeah,
X-Men.
I will clarify. I don't remember if I put it in the questions. I'm not up to date with the current beast, with the evil beast.
Oh, bro, Sebastian,
I mean,
look.
I know
Oh,
what he's been doing, but I'm talking more like this Show Malrita and Shim Lee era of Beast, that you have
that
this.
motherfucker went real dark, man. I don't know if you do
Yeah,
you
yeah,
not
I know,
like
I know, I know, I
like
know,
like real,
and I
real, real
like
dark.
that as not a current reader. I like that to have characters that go dark, because I think it's more interesting to have characters that do that
Well,
from time to time. Not all of them.
Have you read The Age of Apocalypse?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the current Beast, as he stands, is way more similar to the Dark Beast than I would have ever expected them to do in the 616 universe. You know what I mean?
I think that's great. I mean, it's more. I mean, I wrote in Twitter, it would be great as. I mean, some Beast fans will hate me for this. It would be great if they rehabilitated the Dark Beast and left the original Beast as a villain. You know, if they swap them, and it happened a lot in Marvel that villains get good. If they changed them both, and it was all a process, it would be great from a storytelling perspective to have something like this happen.
That would be very interesting if that's the main point they go to, where it's actually like, this is actually the Dark Beast. This isn't actually Hank McCoy. Like Dark Beast showed up and tucked that motherfucker away a while ago.
Yeah, that would be great too. I mean, that happened for a few issues back then.
Yeah, I remember that. But that's been
a long time ago.
That's been like the early 2000s, I believe.
Yeah, that's the era that I know the most. X-Men were the only good thing in Marvel, and then they started making very cool Avengers comics with George Perez and Scott Pasiek, and very cool Iron Man and Fantastic Four. But before that, the when I started reading comics, I think Avengers: The Crossing. I think everybody agrees that it's the worst Avengers era. Right? Why are you?
You're killing me with that, man. I like, to that point, I just want to bring up, like, so your favorite films based on a TV show or comic are Thor Ragnarok,
Yeah.
Spider-Man into the Spider. Have you seen Across the Spider-Verse yet?
Yes, I saw it 2 days ago.
No spoilers. No spoilers, man. I ain't seen it yet. Don't spoil it, and don't spoil it for anybody out there. What do you think? Give it 1 out of 5. What do you think?
No, 5.
Solid 5? Shit, Dave on fucking This Month Ain't Hard.
You know what I think? What I think is, I was talking with my son about it today. It's a great story, like any other great story. But what they did with that great story is out of this world. The way they are telling this story is amazing. It's incredible. That's what I think. You will find other better scripts. You know, it's a great script. It's not about script. It's not just a good script. It's a great script. But the way they are telling the story is what's blowing everybody's mind. And with good right, it's incredible what they are doing, what they did, and what they are doing with the next movie, I guess.
And I know Dave did tell me, like, I got one spoiler, they brought in Spider-Rex. But real quick, as far as amazing, man, you need to check out Sebastian's Twitter. He's got some amazing art posted on there. Link is in the description. I'm going to tell you that right now, right? But you, dude, some of the things you draw that you're not paid to are phenomenal, right?
Thank you.
What is it that just makes you want to keep drawing like that? As far as just keep going and going, and I mean, you're obviously drawing things like, you know what I mean? Like why is it you want to put pen to paper so bad?
I think first of all, to work in comics, to draw comics, you have to love it, because there are so many things, so many bad things, to put it away. You know, like the old Kirby phrase, "Comic will break your heart." There are so many things that work against you when you work in comics. You know, we were talking about it. Maybe you draw a full issue and then they don't pay you for 6 months. Maybe they promise you to do an issue and they just don't start. Or even when everything works out perfectly, you have a script that is great for reading, but very boring to draw because you have to, I don't know, draw, I don't know, a trial where people are talking for 20 pages, and we all are in comics because we want to draw Batman kicking faces, you know. We don't want to draw a trial, and it maybe it's a terrific story, but it's very hard to draw. And I really enjoy drawing. Um, Everybody that draws a comic monthly has to enjoy drawing because otherwise you can't do it. But sometimes you think you don't enjoy drawing everything because we're people. It's like you don't show every sport. You don't, even if you like sports, you don't show every sport. If you like cartoons, you don't enjoy every cartoon. And if you like to draw comics, you won't enjoy to draw every page. So sometimes I have these ideas that I mean, I'm drawing. I have to follow a script, and I put everything from me in the script. But sometimes I want to draw Spider-Man jumping, you know. And I'm not paid right now to draw Spider-Man jumping, and I will do it. And I found a justification for it. It's like kickstarting a motor, an engine. You know, sometimes you're bored and you can't, and then you draw something else,
I mean,
and your brain starts working.
I totally understand that, man. You can check out Mike Ruth on the drawing Swamp Thing, actually. This Swamp Thing right here,
Yeah.
right? And that's where he says, for some reason, his go-to to start up is Swamp Thing, and like for some reason, it'll clear his mind. Do you have a particular character when you're getting ready to go into something it helps you clear your mind to go in to draw
Not
whatever you need to draw next?
not really, not really, but I tend to draw simple characters because even if it's positive that I'm taking this time from work because it helps me, I can't take a lot of time to draw. I don't know, Iron Man with all the parts. I can't do a lot of that. So I gravitate to simple characters, to characters that I can draw with shadows, to I don't know, uh, characters that I can draw very quickly. That's why there's a lot of Spider-Man, a lot of Batman. You can draw a Batman with a few triangles for the cape and the face. So it's not that I prefer certain characters, but I used to draw things that I can finish quickly.
So I didn't mean to laugh in the middle of that answer, but I went to your questionnaire and was like, emails with serious work subject. Are they using lasers or plasma guns?
The thing that I don't like about my work, that part.
That just like that. I love the fact that like that's what you like about your work, with serious headlines. Like, are they using lasers or plasma guns?
Yeah, that the other part. Yeah, I love that. You know, yeah. I have this work email. Hey, what's the subject? Yeah, shooting laser in eyes from the laser beam from the eyes. Those are real things, and every time I get one of those emails, it's so amazing. You know, I'm working, and I'm talking about how fast a spaceship can go, and I'm talking about how this monster. It's and you see that subject in the email. It's those are the little moments where I say, yeah, I can't believe I'm this is what I do for work. You know, the emails, the work emails are the meeting to for the budget of and my work emails are
But
that's amazing.
in that, Sebastian, man, like think about it. If you weren't doing that for work, what? We're all just thinking about the fact that Trump got fucking indicted and it's a shit show and it's nothing more than a shit show. That motherfucker isn't gonna face the consequences that he truly should. Let's be real fucking honest, man. Like, come on. If you don't present something to people that lets them move away from this reality and not have to just sit it, then what the fuck are you doing?
That's well, I think a lot about that with the current AI situation. Like, yeah, what are we going to do if AI replaces us? And my personal answer to that is the same. I will do the same, because I mean, if everything is AI, they will have to find a way to feed people, because nobody will have a work, and I will do the same because I love it.
Okay, let's get into that for a moment. Which I've gotten into that with Jim Valentino recently on an episode. I've gotten into with it. We had a pan con about it with 4 different artists where they were very much elaborate on the fact that fuck this shit. And I agree, fuck this shit. Because I think when you are relying 100% upon AI to generate art, you're losing the human element. And people that say, what's the human element? Well, motherfucker, it's the human one. You know what I mean? The one that feels emotion as opposed to just looking and scraping art and be like, oh, well, here's a representation to this. You know, I don't. Uh,
It's
no, the
you
AI
can
art
talk a
thing,
lot about.
the AI art thing,
Yeah,
like, it drives me kind of crazy, especially with the WGA strike that's currently going on.
yeah.
And knowing that shit like ChatGPT or more could end up replacing shit like that, like I want a human element in my art because I feel like once you lose that, you lose a lot.
I think there will always be an audience for human art, even if AI. I'm not. I'm not sure if AI will become mainstream. I see some people using it. I see a lot of that in YouTube videos. You know, the everybody puts an illustration when they are talking about something, and AI art was perfect for that for them. But I'm not sure yet that it will succeed, because I think the current AI models uh, end up being repetitive. You end up having the same kind of art time and time again. Not only the same kind of mistakes, but the same kind of images, because the people that works with AI art haven't learned to make cool compositions and stuff like that. So you have a lot of people making images that look great, but they don't know what they are doing. So they all look the same. But even if it succeeds, I think there will be still a lot of people that only wants to consume human art.
Now, and this is the discussion we got into in the era of PanCon, which y'all can check out on our previous quest. It's there, it's up, it's available now. What do you do when the consumer is okay with that? Because it's what they want. You know what I mean? It's when
Yes.
they go across, like they're walking across in the convention, and they're like, "Hey, that's cool. That's what I fucking want to fucking see," as
Well,
opposed to a
that's
hand drawn
but
piece like what you do.
there will be consumers that are okay with it. I just don't work for them. I'm not saying that as from a moral high ground. I'm just not working for people that wants to see AI art. And I think we live in an age where people want different things, and some people will want AI art, and they will define if it succeeds or not, and other people won't.
I don't know,
I
man.
don't.
There's
I
just
don't think.
part.
I don't think there. I am very, very pessimist about legislations making AI stopping AI art. I don't think they will. I think it's a zero-sum game. No country will ban it if other countries won't. So I think the final word will be in the audience. In the people will decide if they want AI art or not. And I know for sure some will, but I don't think there are so many that will want it, because even those that want it will end up bored about it. But the AI art will find some places where it's convenient. I see, as I said, I see it being used a lot on YouTube videos. You know, the people talking about the news, and they put an AI art, an AI generated image of I don't know, a politician in a ridiculous situation. For that, it's perfect for that. So I think it will find its place. Sadly, it will. There are artists that work on that will have to find other things to do, and that sucks a lot. And that may happen to comics eventually. Today, no, it won't happen today. You can't make comics with AI models. Maybe it happens in the future, but I don't think it's an apocalypse for art, for human art. I think it will be one more option that only some people will find useful.
And I think you're
With
right, man,
stuff
because
that we see now.
I know in talking to Dave, who runs This Month in Comics with me, that there was an AI comic in the store, which he runs. He works at Comic University. Um, and it was like they had 6 fingers at points. You know what I mean? Like this and shit.
No, but I mean that's funny, because if the people making it were real artists, they will erase that extra finger very easily. But besides those errors, it's not consistent. You can't have 22 pages with the same character, with the way they work right now. Maybe they will improve, but even if they improve, you will have the amateur artist problem, because you have some kids or grown-ups that make beautifully rendered images, but don't know how to design a good layout, a good page. They don't know how to make a good readable comic. And all I can't say all, but the vast majority of people making AI art have no idea about composition, about narration, about I don't know, color theory. So in the end, they can't make a product that competes with good artists.
I mean, so
And I'm not, because the people making the models don't know about it either. I don't know if you can train a model to learn all those things. They will imitate things here and there, but imitation, you can't know how to use it if you're only imitating.
I mean, that's true. I think that has a lot to do with like a director taking over a film from a director. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah,
As far as in the case of Justice League. Uh,
yes, yes. Yeah,
and did you watch this?
I use Chatterley too in my question, in my
Yeah,
narratives.
yeah, yeah. That's what I bring it up for, man. Like, did you watch the Snyder cut of it though?
Yeah, I watch it.
What did you think of that?
It was better than the original. I think the biggest problem with the Snyder Cut is that was timing, bad timing. I think if that movie was released like a few years earlier, it would have been amazing for everybody. But it was released when everybody was already doing other things, and we already seen that. and it has some very cool things in the movie. It's not my favorite, but it has some very cool things. I particularly like the way Flash moves. I think it's very original. I think it's a unique view to make it stand out. Right? It had the word stand out. But the movie as had very bad timing, and I think it was good. I don't think it's a masterpiece like some people believe.
I don't know, man. I feel like if they'd have split it into two parts, it would have been better.
Yeah, maybe, and I'm pretty sure that the blame is to the executives in the company. I'm not even blaming Widom. I know. I mean, I know the guy isn't in a good place right now, and with good reason. And I know the guy was a mess in the movie, but artistically, he did what they asking him to do. It's not like he was a rebel that ruined the movie because he wanted to ruin it. They wrote him to do that, and he did what they asked him to do. So the big blame for all that mess, all that shit show, is the suits in the company that wouldn't that pick a guy to do a thing and wouldn't let him do the thing. Snyder.
I mean, that's definitely true, man. And can I say, have you ever feel like that happens in the comic book history where they pick somebody to do something and they're like, you didn't do that right?
You know, and I'm not a fan of Snyder. I think visually he does amazing things, but I don't connect with the stories. I don't like that everything is dark and depressing. I think you have characters to do that and characters where you don't need to do that. So I don't connect with him. I think he's great at doing what he does. But if you hire him to do that, you can't say it's wrong.
I mean, that's a fair point, man. It shows that you have to hire the right person for whatever project you're trying to do. Right.
Absolutely.
And I've said this several times on past episodes. Like, it's very important that the art in whatever said comic you're doing, whether it be something dark, something light, that it matches the tone. So I'm curious, man, when you're given something, how do you make sure, as an artist, that you match the tone of said comic?
I I only had a few times where I had to follow over somebody else's work, and I didn't do it right. It was years ago. Uh, I, because I have a big weakness that is when I can't find a way to have fun with what I'm doing. I suck. My work. I can't dissimulate that. So uh, uh, trying to do the things in another way for me is like working in an office. It isn't worth it. I mean, and I'm not criticizing working in an office. I mean, I might as well work in an office if I had to draw in a way that I don't want. It's not worth it making comics if I had to do it I mean, obviously, I will always try to do what the editor and the writers want, but in my way. And when I have to do it in somebody else's way, I might learn a thing here and there, but I stop working. I stop. My head stops working. An Asian told me years ago, you have to draw like this guy, Juan Jimenez. He's amazing, but I couldn't do it. I tried, and it looked awful. It looks so bad because I don't enjoy the process of drawing the way he draws. So eventually, I will have to face that situation again. I hope. I hope eventually I have to. You have to draw after this artist, and I will handle it differently. I will be respectful of the material, but I will slowly turn it in my thing. I think that's
I
what
appreciate
everybody has to do. I think that's what everybody has to do.
I appreciate the absolute fuck out of your candor in that response, Sebastian. For real, like that is. I wouldn't expect a lot of artists to be that candid in that response, to be honest.
I mean, when this happened years ago, a reviewer wrote, "You have to fire the editor that hired this guy. This guy being me." That hurt a lot. But even without the malice, I mean, it wasn't a kind guy, obviously. Even without that, I know that what I did wasn't good. I have it now, and part of the reason why it wasn't good is because I had to follow the steps of another artist. Another part it was because I wasn't in my best moment too. I mean, but that bad it was. Yeah.
I mean, fair enough, man. That happens to all of us as far as just fighting at the moment to where we're not in our best, man. I understand. I do. I know if you go through all these quests, there's moments where I'm not at my best. You know what I mean? And that's just a fact. I mean, fuck,
Yeah.
I've done 50 plus of them. What can you say?
But being a professional means finding a way to go through it when you're not your best.
And
that's what being a professional means. I mean, I stop working when I'm bored, but I stop working when I'm bored. But you have to keep doing it, and you have to deliver those pages.
And man, can I say in that regard, it amazes me. You're the first one to answer paper. You know that?
That what? That
To answer paper. I'm about 90% sure. No one has ever answered paper. Everyone, like, Rock is the most typical answer. Sean Damian Hill came with the best one when he said Rick. Because I'm like, well, fuck, man. What beats Rick as far as from Rick and Morty? Like, fine.
yeah.
Everything else is dead. You win, man. I was thinking about, like, setting up a tournament and just throwing in people's names randomly. But then I'm like, what's the fucking point? Sean done won with Rick. There's no one beating that. I don't give a fuck if you put The Rock. I'm sorry. The Rock dies when he faces Rick from Rick and Morty. That's just the end of it.
Breaking the head. Yeah.
Yeah, like you're dead. All right. But you picked the most fragile thing as far as paper. What made you pick that, Sebastian?
I don't think I have a thought process for that. If I had to think now about it, I think I like the way paper wins. It doesn't destroy. It it uh it embraces it becomes the surface of the rock. It adapts. I don't know if I'm making sense. I'm thinking out loud.
No, you
But
totally
scissors and
are.
paper
As far as
destroy.
the fact, you totally are. Is the fact that if you lay a piece of paper across the rock, like especially if it had an image on it, it will slowly, ostensibly become part of that rock. You know,
Yeah, it will
I
become the
yeah,
skin of the. It will adapt to the rock,
yeah, I
and that's the way it
completely
wins.
understand, man. I do. I really, truly do, man. That's why I kept waving the paper. You know what I'm saying? That's why my
It's
questionnaires are
like
all.
It's like
Always.
a martial arts reply, answer. Like you have to adapt to the surface of the stone. It sounds like
No.
like
It's very
a
Bruce
sensei.
Lee. Be like
Yeah,
water.
yeah. Be like water. You be like the paper. You know. Yeah.
Yeah. You know what?
But that wasn't my idea when I wrote it. I wrote it naturally, just when I occurred me. I'm thinking that now because you asked me.
Well, be like paper. Be like water. And don't be an asshole like Sebastian
Don't be an
said.
always.
For real.
Don't be
Like,
an asshole.
that should be a goal for everyone, especially politicians and princes and whoever the fuck else is in control of this planet.
Aim aim to not have a controversy segment in your Wikipedia page.
No, man, I want you to have one because the more, you know what?
Okay.
And I say that, look, because I don't know if you watch wrestling or not, man. You watch wrestling at all?
Rosalind.
Yeah, wrestling.
Wrestling. No, it's not a thing down here. I know what it is, but I don't watch.
Look, Eric Bischoff said it, and that's why his book is titled as such. Controversy creates cash. And I don't know about you,
Okay, well, that's a good
Sebastian,
controversy, but when comics people have a controversy section, it's always bad. Controversy. He sent dick pics to controversy. He was dating, grooming a minor. Controversy. Now, there isn't a good controversy section for comics people in Wikipedia. I dare you to find one good controversy for comics people.
now I feel
Controversy. He
challenged.
owes a lot of money to. He spent a lot of money from the company in a car. No.
Now I feel truly challenged, man. And can I say, the main controversy that I've come across in running this show, excuse me, in the comic book industry, is Comic Gate. You wear a Comic Gate?
No, I'm not. I heard about it.
I
I have nothing to do with them.
I was not at all until past guests put in their questionnaire as far as for what do you want to talk about? Anything besides Comic Gate. And at that, my brain was like, what the fuck is Comic Gate, right? Because, like, at that moment, I'm
Yeah.
like, because I wasn't aware of it. I had no idea. Um,
Yeah.
so I had,
I know who they are.
yeah, so I had to research it, man, because I had no idea, Sebastian. I had absolutely no idea what that entailed. And I started to look into it, and my brain was like, well, what a group of pieces of shit.
Yeah. I mean, you can work to have any kind of comic you want to make with big boobs, with all the 90 troops. You can work only with men if you want. You can do your own thing, especially with the kind of money they make in their campaigns. And that's okay. The problem is when to get noticed or to have people in your stream, you start
I'm listening,
being an asshole
Sebastian.
to everybody online, especially all the people women, trans, black. So it's not about what they do. You can do whatever you want without being an asshole.
I'm a firm believer, Sebastian. Oh shit. Sorry, I'm getting into my box. I'm getting into my box, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you enjoy watching. The money shot always comes again. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah. There are way sexier comics made today by women, by queer creators, and than what they do.
You know,
You
I
know?
don't know why people have a bias towards that. Like, Saga is one of the greatest books out there today. It
Yeah.
is, and it includes everything. I've read a
Yeah.
great deal of
Absolutely.
like.
Uh, but going beyond that critique that is stupid, still, even if they are firm believers of that, you know, if they are convinced that the comics are bad now, and they have the chance to make the comics that they believe are good, and they have all the money to do them, and they are not doing them, right? Because they did like 10 comics. All the group did like 10 comics, and and nobody is saying they can do it. They do that. What everybody is saying is don't be an asshole with editors, with creators, with that. That's, you know, the same thing happens with the Snyder movie. It's okay if you think it's the biggest movie ever made. Just don't be an asshole about it with people. You know?
Oh, Sebastian, that is the greatest piece of advice I think has ever been given on the questionnaire. Sincerely, it's just,
Thank you.
don't be an
Do
asshole,
your thing.
man. There's
Have
no,
fun. Do your thing.
yeah, and I think, and it's funny. Um, as someone that used to run an all-night radio, where I interviewed a number of hip hop artists, I think that's like, I wish we could get that across the entire span of entertainment. Period. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
everyone. Like whether you're making movies, comics, writing books, making music, whatever. Can you just not be a fucking asshole?
When you read nobody like it. I don't know, Miss Marvel. No, dude, you didn't like Miss Marvel, and that's okay. That's perfectly fine. You don't have to like it. That doesn't mean it's objectively bad. That doesn't mean you should bother everybody around. You don't have to make everybody's problem that you don't like a thing. There's so many things I don't like, and I just don't talk about them.
Eh,
But no, they make it everybody's problem because there's I mean, there are reasons why
hey,
they do it.
hey, what can I say? Sebastian, your favorite actor, Ryan Reynolds, that motherfucker's the shit.
Yeah, yeah. At least it seems like his right.
Yeah.
You never know 100% for sure
I mean,
that they
that's
are,
true,
but
but
it seems
bro,
that he's a pretty cool guy. A
look,
night you want to stay to have a beer with.
well, firstly, I mean, I'm a fan. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? He literally brought Wade Wilson to life on film better than I think anyone else ever could have, as far as really giving him that Wade Wilson swagger.
because well, we go back to what I was talking before, because he loved it, because it's what he wanted to do. It wasn't something that they picked him to do. They pay. It's what he want. It was his passion project. You can't do better than that. You can't do
That's
better
why
than that.
he.
You may not
That's why
like
he
it
spent.
as an audience.
Yeah, that's why Sebastian. He spent like 10 G's to make a short film about Deadpool, and then it got released to the public.
Yeah,
My ass, bro,
yeah.
you fucking made that happen. Don't tell me you didn't make that fucking, like, you didn't, like, look at your homies. Look, go put this online. Now, I don't give a fuck, dude. Just do it.
Yes. Yeah, no, go to. I don't. You don't have cyber cafes in the US. We had a lot here. I mean, go to a park, connect to the Wi-Fi there, and upload it. Who's gonna know?
Yeah, I like that's exactly what he did. Look, just don't be on my internet, all right, you asshole. Go to McDonald's and do it or something like.
Yeah, yeah.
And then
Hey,
literally,
hey,
when-
Ryan, you release it? No, no, I wasn't. No, I think he seems to be a pretty cool guy. He seems to be a guy you can have a good time. I'm 90% sure you can't always be 100% sure with celebrities. Uh,
look, he bought a soccer team with oh shit, the name of the other gentleman escapes me, but he's from Always Sunny in Philly. Uh,
yeah,
which
yeah,
I'm a
yes,
fan
yeah.
of.
I don't remember the name. Then I
Um,
mean I remember Danny DeVito from name from the series. But
oh, can I say that drives me crazy because I wasn't like I was straight up watching the new episodes last night of Always Sunny. And I can't John no man, fuck, that's not right, man. It throws me off because Charlie's name is Charlie in the show, and the dude's actual name is Charlie, but then not everybody's name follows that scheme, you know what I mean? Like
but yeah,
so
I have the computer here.
it's
Uh,
it's Mac. I'll tell you that it's Mac from Always Sunny in Philly. Because that's who it is. Rob, it's
with
Rob something.
Ryan Reynolds with Reynolds Academy. Uh, wait, wait, always.
Just Always Sunny Mac. That's all you need, man, and it will pull it up.
Let's look at
Because he's fucking married to
it's
D.
Rob
Rob.
McElhenney. Rob McElhenney.
Yeah. See, I at
Yeah.
least knew what character he plays and who he's married to because he's married to D. Uh, I don't know who D's like. I don't know that actress's name, but like in the show, he's literally married to D.
I watch only the first few episodes of Always Sunny, and I know it gets better, but I
Oh,
have to go back to it.
oh,
But you know,
Sebastian.
I watch things that way. I leave them and I start them again later, and I watch them all.
Dude, you got like 16 seasons to catch up on now. You know
Yeah,
that? Yeah, that is
yeah,
literally the long.
and I need
Yeah.
something to watch because what I watch a lot while I'm working. I mean, I have one the you know I put here
Ooh.
something and I work here.
Well, hey, I'm just throwing this out there, Sebastian. You could always watch the Questionnaire podcast. We've had some dope creators on, yourself included, man. Like, it has been phenomenal. Everyone we've had on this show, man. Everyone has been exceptionally talented. I definitely want to bring you back at a point. Are you down to draw live on the show, Sebastian?
Yeah, I couldn't make it the last time, but yeah, of course. Thank you.
It's cool, man. I got to look, man. I know, dude. I know generally the scheduling of this shit is madness. Are you kidding me? Like, oh my God, Heather Antos should have already been on this show, but I screwed up on my end. Sorry, Heather. My bad. But you know, I'm trying to put out 3 shows a fucking week. What can I say? Because I love
Yeah.
comic books, ladies and gentlemen. I do. I just wish I had more fucking time to read them. Right? That's why when this Patreon gets up, do me a favor. Go subscribe to that, man. You'll be able to check out everybody's questionnaires. You see these? I have people answer some real screwy ass questions. And we never get into all
Yeah.
of it. We never get
Yeah,
into all of
some question got me. Yeah, what I'm supposed to write here? But
it.
I wrote I answered most of those. At least all I saw. If I didn't answer one, it's because I missed it.
uh no, the only one you missed is the one that made you answer at the beginning of the show, man. Right? Right,
Yeah,
Sebastian, like for real. Like and
I can
look,
write it if you want. I can write it and send it again.
no, to hell with that. Your answer to that question is gonna be like, Watch this episode, assholes, and then I'm gonna put a link there. Are you shitting me?
That's great. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a wish.
That is exactly what it'll be. It's at the beginning of the episode, motherfucker, and then a link to the episode. It's maybe the hip hop homie that I include the motherfucker in that. You know, like I can't help myself, man. I am the unknown factor, ladies and gentlemen. This is the questionnaire. Now, let me say, if you have enjoyed this interview, right? What I want you to do is send a siren, right, with some pizza. Wait. Where the fuck is man? I need to highlight this shit before I start. Y'all can catch me saying that at the end of so many episodes, right? I'll never highlight this shit. I do not give a fuck, right? Hold on, right? And Castle Grayskull, yeah,
Yeah,
from Masters of the Universe. So you send some
of course.
sirens with a bunch of pizza and Castle Grayskull, like that
Yes,
OG one from back in the day, right? Now, if you didn't
the
like
original.
this interview, apparently you're still sending sirens.
But
which
but
which
you
you
know
should.
the real mythical sirens that are bad, that will make you lost in the sea.
So for the first part, send some like nice sirens, I guess. I don't know that those exist, but we'll go with sending those, right? For the second, if you didn't like it, send some like real mythical, just asshole sirens that smell like
Yeah.
boiled milk. We're gonna make it one step worse for you. Yeah.
That's
Ladies and
but
gentlemen.
but
Yeah.
okay, but that combination doesn't sound good.
And do me a favor though.
That wasn't meant to be combined. That's
I am the unknown factor, Sebastian. I do things however the hell I do things, right? But do me a favor, like click all
yeah.
the links in the description, man. Make sure you check out Sebastian's work. He's got a bunch of dope artwork on Twitter, like so much, man. I'm kind of wanting to harass him about something after the show. We won't even get into that, right? But beyond that, do me a favor, like, subscribe, hit whatever notification bell for wherever you're on, because I know we're available several places and I don't know what you all need to click to notify, right? Whatever. And if you're on YouTube, give it a thumbs up and have a good night, y'all.